The poster of Rosie the Riveter was created for the Westinghouse Electric Company in 1942. J. Howard Miller created it in an effort to aid the government's campaign of encouraging women to join the workforce. During World War II, the U.S. faced a huge labor shortage as many men had to join the front lines. In order to fix this shortage, the government aimed to have women take the place of men in the workforce. Important figures such as Franklin D. Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt helped get the message of this campaign out to the public. For every woman in the workforce, it was thought that she freed up a man to join the front lines. While there is no definitive answer as to who inspired the name Rosie, the riveter aspect of her name related to the job. The photo on the top right shows a real life riveter. Historians approximate that there are around 5 million women working throughout various industries during World War II. Women worked in many fields, building essentials for the war and for daily life. Women also served on the front lines as nurses and in auxiliary groups. It is approximated that at least 350,000 women served. By the end of World War II in 1945, it is estimated that 1 out of every 4 married women had a job. Women had more on their plate than just new jobs. With many of the men away at war, they were expected to keep maintaining the household and be the sole caretaker. Following the end of World War II, the government had thought women would return to their traditional roles. However, after tasting freedom, women did not want to give up their jobs, and many continued working. Additionally, this fueled the idea that men were not superior to women. The first element is visual literacy. Beginning with Rosie's red polka dot bandana, it is used to reference the traditional domestic role of women. By using this bandana to tie up her hair, Rosie is showing that she is ready to get to work. The combination of the feminine element of the bandana with the rest of Rosie combines the new role of a woman with her traditional role. Her shirt also represents her new role. The rolled up sleeves combined with the masculine blue color imply that she has moved beyond the traditional role of a woman and into the workforce, usually considered a man's job. By combining red, white, and blue in the poster, Miller evokes a strong patriotic emotion in his viewers. The color red is associated with courage. Despite the dreary situation of being at war, Rosie is setting a courageous example for the women of America. The color of white evokes clarity. Her message is written at the top in white, showing that she has no doubts about the abilities of women. Blue is associated with masculinity and with the working class, showing that Rosie is stepping beyond her traditional role. Finally, the color yellow is optimistic and energetic. Much like red, it serves to keep the audience positive despite the obstacles that lie ahead. The composition and layout of the poster allow the audience's attention to be directed from the top to bottom. They go from the words to Rosie's face to her gesture. While Rosie is the center of attention in the image, the words clearly jump out with their bright white color. The next element is gestural literacy. By having Rosie use direct eye contact, Miller is able to draw the audience in. They can then form a connection with Rosie and relate to her on a more personal level. Right below this is her stern expression. Rather than smiling and looking pretty, Rosie is stern and forceful. This aids in setting the tone of the poster. Additionally, by having Rosie tilt her head back, she appears as if she is asserting her power and confidence. Moving down the poster, the audience can see that Rosie is flexing her arm. This again serves to show her strength and power. It also pushes the idea of a woman away from the traditional image, as women were previously viewed as weak and in need of a man's help. The audience can also see the fist Rosie is making. A raised fist is typically a symbol of resistance. While Rosie is not resisting against the government, she is still resisting society and its views. The fist can also be interpreted as her joining the collective war movement with the U.S. The final element used by Miller is that of linguistic literacy, in the phrase, "we can do it." This is a very direct and assertive phrase. Its use of clear wording along with the exclamation point shows that there is no question about the capability of women. Much like the direct eye contact, by using the word we, the audience is invited into the conversation. Additionally, the phrasing removes gender from the conversation. The plain language also allows for a wider audience. Many women in the 1940s were not literate, and complex wording or jargon may have inhibited them from understanding the message. Finally, the choice of the word can prompts the audience to focus on what is possible. During wartime, Americans were faced with a variety of challenges and obstacles. Rather than focusing on those, Rosie prompts them to find something they are able to control. By combining multiple modes of communication, the author is able to better communicate their ideas to the audience. Each mode has its strengths. By combining them to a multimodal piece, such as the Rosie the Riveter poster, the audience is provided with much more context and to aid in their interpretation. Kress furthers the strength of multimodal pieces by explaining that multiple modalities have been present for centuries across a wide variety of cultures. While different groups may have an ideal mode of communication, using multiple would allow for a wider audience to be reached. For Rosie the Riveter's message in particular, the use of multiple modalities aids in communicating with a variety of women, as many of them may not have been literate. The legacy of Rosie the Riveter has lasted far beyond the end of World War II. She has remained a central figure in the feminist movement, and it represents a vital step towards breaking the glass ceiling.